Tale 13 with Alan Kilshort ahead of London Skolars on Saturday. But first off, disappointing result last week at Barrow. Only our second defeat of the season, but there was quite a bit of criticism, probably rightly so in patches, but criticism at the game, after the game, on the internet and stuff like that. Second defeat of the season. I think people are getting a bit carried away.
Oh look, everyone's entitled to opinion, and they pay the money through the gate and they travel. We haven't served a performance like that, since the York game, and as coaches and as players, sometimes you can accept defeat, depending on the manner of the defeat. And we was off in a lot of areas on the weekend, but when the team is playing poorly or making errors, look, no one does it on purpose. They're all humans, and we need the supporters on the day to get behind them and give them a lift, and the crowd's been great at doing that this year, home and away, and it just lifts the boys, and we need to be united. And I think that the team have put in performances this year that people can be proud of, and they've worn the shirt and with pride, and the way they've handled themselves, on and off the field. I believe those players and coaches and staff can hold their head up high, and so can people who support the club. So let's get behind the boys. It was only our second defeat. Yes, we was way off in a lot of areas, and way below the standards what's expected, and way below the standards that we've set this season. But hopefully it was just an unusual performance for us. We'll fix up this week, and we have done some already, and let's get behind them at London, and then for the rest of the Super 8s campaign. We can handle the criticism. We know we're there to be shot at times, but some of it, especially when we were playing, was a little bit disappointing. And like I said, we need to be united in victory and in defeat.
So make no mistake about it, we come up against a strong, a really good Barrow side that seemed to click.
Yeah.
But it'll be a different story at weekend. I think we short turnaround. What's the prep been like ahead of Saturday?
Yeah, just on Barrow, look, we said in the week they probably underachieved this year, and they're in a false position, and they've got some good players, and they, on the day they were very good. So they played well, and they outplayed us on the day. We've won there 2 times this year, and mentally that's never great going into a third game there either. So there's plenty of twists and turns yet in the Super 8s, and I'm sure Barrow will stay undefeated at home. In their 3 home games. They're a different beast at home. This week, London, they're a good side, and we know it's going to be difficult. We're travelling down tomorrow evening, thanks to the board and a couple of members on the board for funding that, and it just means we can get our preparation right on the day, and we're not sat in traffic or leggy when we get off the bus. So, and it also gives us that opportunity now. We've got 2 away games left all year. One in the current league campaign, one at London and one at Toulouse, and both of them will be stopovers, and the squad can just spend a bit more time together at this time of year, and I think that's vital, and for team cohesion and team spirit, and we'll be looking to respond. I'll be looking for the boys to respond this week. We put it on them. They were soft last week, and we want them to respond in the right manner.
And yeah, London, been one of the surprise packages this season. They've finished ahead of 2 of the traditional northern sides in North Wales and Newcastle. What do you make of their season so far and how they've gone?
Yeah, mate, not surprised me. They've got a very good coach there in Jermaine, and they've got some good players. They've got 2 good half-backs, a big pack, and some real quality outside backs. They're a well-balanced team. They play some good stuff with the ball, and defensively they don't make many errors, and they're good in contact. So, I think they've probably surprised some teams. They've won at Crusaders away, and they've picked up some good wins. I think they beat Doncaster in the iPro, and they've been ticking over nicely. They're probably a bit out of form, coming into this. I think they got beat by Toulouse and Doncaster, the last 2 home games, and travelled to Hunslet on the weekend. The game I watched, it was pretty scrappy and a lot of penalties, but they're a team that can really burn you with the ball. They play some good stuff. They're a good team to watch. some real good plays, and like I say, they got two half backs there who are well experienced in this competition and getting around the field. So we know the difficult or how difficult and the size of the task this weekend, and we need to be on mentally and physically.
And just onto the team this weekend, there's a couple of senior players back in the squad, and also there's a few of the new lads that miss out that was in the team last week. Just wonder what your thinking is around that.
Yeah, look, Mike Ratu and Dale Bloomfield are fit. They train Tuesday, and they'll train again tonight, Thursday, and then we'll be good to go. So it's good to get them back and get some players who train with us regularly and know what's expected, and that our own identity again in those outside back positions where we're a little bit short, but we knew that at the start of the year, and that's where that reliance on the dual reg comes in. The three lads who've recently joined us from Oldham, so Jack Holmes, Josh Crowley and Steve Roper, at the start of the year they got their fixtures with Oldham, and it was a free weekend, and they were told they'd be allowed to have this week off. So we knew about that before we signed him, and it's just unfortunate, but in some professional sport that happens, and our lads will be getting some time off following the Toulouse game around the Challenge Cup final. So it happens. It's a bit unlucky because obviously Josh has been going really well, and Jack played well last week or in patches, but Jack will actually play for Warrant Reserves tonight alongside Jake Shule, so get some game time. And Steve's not far off, he's been outstanding in training, and I expect him to feature in the 17 against Keighley, and he was available this week. He probably would have got a run this week. So it balances it out. We're taking a strong team, and we're also giving a day to Harry Cartwright, whose ban is now complete, and he's trained really well, and his enthusiasm and his drive will really add something to the squad on the weekend.
Just want to pick your brains about York. Really, there's still nothing being resolved or explained. Really, there seems to be people who are coming in, and then it goes quiet. We're due to play them in a few weeks' time. Is there any sort of questions being asked by the squad about what's going to happen and stuff like that?
Yeah, look, it's probably a distraction that we don't need at the minute. People are, and that's just a team that's not involved. Obviously, there's a lot of distractions for York, and they're probably in the same position. They don't know what's happening. But yeah, at the minute is a bit of a distraction, and especially now we're into week 2 of the Super 8s, and there's still been no communication as of today. I read somewhere that they're going to Toulouse and taking 16 players to Toulouse, which isn't ideal for that group of players or James the coach. So we need something pretty sharpish, and it is a distraction for other clubs. It might also give other clubs a leg up, who would probably written off the chances, with York and ourselves and Toulouse, and probably Barrow doing so well, and now maybe other clubs are thinking, well, there's an opportunity there, and it's giving them a lift as well. So we just need to remain focused on us week to week, go back to that process, and everything else will look after itself. In terms of the RFL, look, we are expecting something to come out and some communication regarding York.